Took us 86 episodes to do a dedicated UFO episode, but let me tell you, the Zudes are here to beam you up, and it's gonna get crazy right now because just like our MK Ultra episode, we're gonna dive into the real history behind this thing that's kind of just culturally kind of accepted and known about. But you know, there's some kind of intricate history going on with it, you know. But yeah. So you know, we're choosing to do a dedicated episode to it because there was just a congressional hearing and they were saying there's non-human material being biologics.
What do they call them? Biologics?
Yeah, biologics, not human biologics being in the recovered craft from the secret UFO program. Big stuff, actually. It's pretty significant. I'd say.
Man, there's a lot going on. What are you gonna
say? There's a lot going on. I watched the whole thing start to finish while I was drunk on the beach, so I think my perception of it is still a little bit skewed. Haven't had a lot of time to put like a ton of thought into it, but from my first impression, it seems kind of legit as far as anything is concerned. People, it's easy to say like, the government has control over all of these things. So how is the government, declassifying information that the government withheld from the government? Right. But it's like people don't understand how compartmentalized and like need to know shit is. There's like classification levels for a reason, right?
Well, that's how governments get away with doing all sorts of shit. Is that it is that compartmentalized. Like that's kind of like the brilliant evil design of most governments, where it's like there's probably like at whatever alien labs or research recovery labs, there's probably a receptionist there that doesn't really know like what's going on.
No, it's really quite.
Hello, Admiral. Wow, good to see you.
But she like requires top secret clearance anyway. Just to even exist in the room.
They don't know.
They don't fucking know.
Yeah, so it's definitely pretty crazy that they're almost kind of admitting this. Like, there's whole secret compartments and sub-departments in the government that you guys don't even know, exist. And it's like we use the money to fund, like, all this underground stuff that we don't even tell you about. That's one of the things I think that's just kind of crazy about it in general, is just being so open about, like, hey, there's all these little avenues of the the spending that we're actually looking into, and there's all these weird incidences. So it's like it's a pretty big thing, and people should be able to know about it, which is
you got a right. You have a right to know.
Super crazy.
If it's your tax dollars at work, especially, I mean, you got a right to know what if they recovered an ET. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, regardless of whether it's a ET or not, the fact that they're like, yeah, there's like weird floating orbs in the sky, and we don't know either, but we're on it. Like that's at least that's historic too. Like, honestly, I didn't even that happening in our lifetimes is kind of crazy because they just full blown acknowledged it. They were like, yeah, we need more actually. But that opens a whole can of worms of it's like, oh, why now, But we're going to dive into the history of like the whole kind of UFO lore too. And I kind of weirdly feel like it is like a why now kind of thing, but also kind of like a of course now kind of thing. It's like it had to come out sometime. Like there had to be some kind of like more knowledge progressing on the topic. There just has to be with more technology down and stuff, and it's getting to a point where they're kind of like, yeah, we can't even really deny because everybody's got phone and shit now, and there's weird stuff everywhere. So it's
maybe they're it's because it's one of those things where it's like these guys that are high-ranking intelligence officials have probably known about this stuff for years, if not decades. Like they're saying that they've recovered spacecraft and allegedly all these kinds of different things since the 30s, 40s, 50s. And it's like, it's just a matter of when they decide to let the cat out of the bag, basically. Or it's almost like they may be trying to get ahead of the story a little bit. Like maybe there is some alien shit that's about to drop that we don't know about yet. So they're just prefacing it with, it's like, okay, guys, so aliens are real and that's fine. There's nothing really going on. Just letting you know for no particular reason now that, there's aliens. But what we don't know is like maybe it's like the aliens have been like, you have 90 days to give us the orb from the inside the center of the earth. or else we will destroy our planet and take it. I don't know.
And so we got flat UFO and Hollow Earth lore happening already on top of each other.
It's all true,
it's all
baby.
coming up. Yeah.
Well, what do you think is the most likely option? Because alien is, I don't think, a good enough word for it. It could be us from the future. It could be us from inside the Earth. It could be a different race from inside the Earth. It could be like a multitude of things. It could be lizard people that are on the backside of the moon. You know, like a million options there.
Right.
It could be fallen angels. And some people say they're demons. You know.
Yeah, it's like Nephilim or
the
Elohim
Elohim and the Nephilim,
all that
bro.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, or some people say maybe it's underwater creatures. Maybe they've been here the whole time underwater, or they're extraterrestrials that are coming here from somewhere else and then hiding in the water.
A little bit of Henical Tentai action, bro.
Yeah, we got Matt in the chat. He's saying, "Ayo, Zudes, we talking non-human biologics."
That is correct.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
What do you think non-human biologics means? In the chat, let us know.
Let us know, because that's quite the vague term, man. I was saying non-human biologics. It's like, I think he probably was trying to be very careful as to not get unalived, because he probably couldn't be like he was just, all he said was non-human. I don't think
he almost said non-binary.
I don't necessarily think it's extraterrestrials. I think it might be some kind of like either kind of underwater or underground kind of other civilization, or some kind of like interdimensional stuff, or it's like interdimensional technology, or from the future. But, the future is probably so different that it is alien, but it might still just all be on Earth. I don't know.
That would be crazy. I feel like that's already like a plot to something. But I can't think
definitely,
of what,
definitely.
But it's like, or it should be, where
it's like on South Park, when they come back from the future and they all became like the Unirace.
Oh, yeah. They're all like, it's like the different like atheism sects or whatever. And then there's like the space otters, I think. Is that the same episode?
That was a different one, but it's all good.
So we, as humans, scientifically have been tapped in like futuristic stuff, being able to tap into stuff from the future.
Maybe maybe it is.
Yeah,
I don't know. We're just spitballing here, but it could be.
Yeah.
One of the theories.
One of the theories is that the UFO stuff is that like observers from the future trying not to really interact with everything.
I see.
But
taking a little tour.
Yeah. I know. What if it's something super trivial to them? Yeah, it's just like time travel tours, bro.
Right.
They're just like, wowee,
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima.
Was doing it back in the day,
Well, that'd be crazy. It's like instead of going to the movies, they go back to watch real life events.
Go to Mount Vesuvius, bro, in Pompeii.
As long as they can return to their original timeline, because if there is just their existence in that area potentially could cause like catastrophic and cascading effects throughout space. Right. So it depends how you think about the multiverse, but I don't tend to really believe in the multiverse the way a lot of people do.
Yeah, time travel stuff is pretty crazy, but again, who
Dude,
with what the kind of stuff they're talking about in general, though, it's like physics are probably about to get freaking spaghettied and whipped around, because if it's really as kind of powerful as a lot of the kind of speculation is, it's like, UFOs are pretty OP.
What if it was futuristic Italians and they're like, whoa, wow, like the laws of physics.
We created
spaghettied around.
We created the saucers in a disc shape to resemble a pizza flying through the air.
That'd be hilarious if it was Italian.
It's
like a cyborg.
Always has been, bro.
Bro, it's a cyborg Christopher Columbus from the future. He's like reincarnated.
Right.
He's got to conquer the world and then the universe. That would be sick. We should make damn.
Cyborg
We're just
Columbus,
out here,
bro.
Dude, within the first 5 minutes of this, we're already like just spitting free game right now. You know what? Those ones are on the house.
Cyborg Columbus, bro.
If you're a sci-fi writer, come on, dude. If you got Abe Lincoln Vampire Slayer, you can have Cyborg Columbus. You know what I'm saying?
Right in the same tier.
That would be crazy if it was time travelers and then they were just going back and getting footage of all the different moments in history to make like an Earth supercut.
Right. Earth supercut. Man, it's just so bizarre because, again, even with the amount of information we got, it's still just so vague. Like, it's just so, like, I don't know,
Yeah. But it opens up a world of imagination and possibilities.
The message I got overall from it was that you should keep your eyes peeled, because more or less the aim is to declassify anything that is not a matter of national security, essentially.
Right. Which could go in a lot of ways. I mean, think about how much stuff that's probably... Well, they just released that big study, too, about, like, ESP and, like, altered states of the consciousness and, like, astral projection and shit, bro. The CIA just put out a report on that, too. So,
I remember reading about that.
Pretty crazy for that to be happening in the same time period and stuff. And, yeah, I really do think it was just a big... It was a big deal because, again, like I said, they're really just acknowledging the fact that it's like, yeah, this is going on. We've had, like... a bunch of different departments and stuff looking at it, and it's been a problem for a second, and here's all of our footage.
Well, and it's just weird though, because it's like usually from intelligence officials, I'll be like, you guys are full of shit. What's the psyop here? What's the game plan here? And maybe there is something to that, because it seems like there's two camps with this UFO hearing. There's people that are like, oh shit, it's finally happening. They're finally, because it's like a lot of the people that are really into UFOs are kind of like, yeah, I already knew most of this shit. They just are saying, like, confirming what we've already been talking about. And then there's other people that are like, shut up, idiot. It's, like, cool to, like, be a UFO skeptic now. Be like, I'm Christ pilled or whatever. And, like, you're just like, don't believe in UFOs. And it's like, I don't know. It's like not everything's a psyop. And I feel like, just statistically, I think the opinion that a lot of people have is just statistically, there's more of a chance of there being somewhere else with life in the universe than us being the only planet in the entire universe.
See, I almost think that's an entirely different question, though, than, like, what are the UFOs? Like, how are they that sick? Like, how are they that fast? How are they that durable? How
it could be the Chinese.
It could be. I mean, I
sincerely doubt that it is the Chinese.
Right.
No, I don't think it's something normal. Yeah, I think everybody... If one person could do something like that, everybody would be able to back engineer it with the amount of, like, espionage that goes on these days. Like
I was saying in a conversation we had previous to the show, unbeknownst to you guys, but you have to literally break the laws of inertia to be able to live, or in any sense, inside of a craft that's moving that fast or stopping that fast. The amount of G-forces your body would pull would kill you instantly in any of those, like, maneuvers. So you just can't survive that without somehow breaking the laws of the universe's, like, inertial relationships, gravity, right?
That's true.
And you have to separate yourself in, like, a little bubble.
Right. So you're not getting thrown around and spaghettied around constantly every time you hit warp speed or whatever. Because, every sci-fi show you ever watch, they're like going into, sublight speed or whatever, and then they turn the thruster and they're just chilling there.
And then they get hit by an actual missile, and then they go fucking get, like, rocked in their chairs and shit. And I'm like, that is just as unrealistic. You either have inertial dampening technology or you fucking don't maintain self-consistency.
Well, that's the shields, bro.
But it's
the
entertaining.
Shields are down now. Shields at 69% capacity. Anyways, let's see. So let's see, what do we got for the
here, we could just take a big look at the whole board real quick.
Let's take a big look. Look at this fucking big ass board that Eli conceived of.
Look at that
This is a lot.